Hey, everybody.
Hi.
We got some people logging into Zoom, which is amazing. And then we have people on Facebook and Instagram, I believe. So, yeah. So this is going to be a pretty entertaining epic hour. So a few milestones we've hit. We can kind of discuss stuff either chronologically or we can just go
with the flow
for it.
We're better at that.
Yeah. So I apologize if my words don't come out properly. I slept on the couch for 2 hours here last night trying to get this house ready for being completely good to go. And with my OCD-ness and wanting to make sure everything's just perfect, that's what it equated to. So luckily, our crews were all in here this morning getting everything done. Everybody's just hauled their bums and we got it all done. So I'm super excited to take you guys on the tour later to show you the fruits of our labor. So yeah, okay, what do we want to start with?
Happy New Year!
Yeah, that is right. This is our first epic hour in the new year. That's exciting. So I'm not sure if anybody has any really awesome New Year's resolutions that you guys have decided to start with, but feel free to chat or share that in the chat if you are interested in sharing. Maybe it's to buy 5 hassle-free landlord houses this year. I mean, we can get behind that, right? Just a little plug. Yeah. So do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Yeah, I did. I posted a couple of them on Facebook and I did more of a, for me, it was just a personal look at some things, what needs to change, what has to change, what do I want to change, that kind of thing. And I took my notes from the Tony Robbins event we did, the Unleash the Power,
Unleash the
Power Within. Yeah. And just reviewed a couple of things and I really, my key, and there goes my belly. Sorry, my stomach's making noises. But some key things for me, it just, a lot of it goes back and circles back to personal health, just trying to get myself in a place where I am eating to live, not living to eat. For those that don't fully get that, you can message me and I can totally explain it out. And then noticing my posture in all situations of communication. Just things like, am I hunched while I'm talking? Am I hunched? Is my face, those kinds of things, just to see where my body and facial and hand movements sit when I am interacting and in situations and circumstances outside of my control, to try and help myself. I really learned through that event all about how the biggest or one of the best ways to switch your habit and also stay in a very positive or grounded state is in your physiology. And that was for me a big thing that I just really wanted to hit home on this year, to just really, use a lot of grounding verbiage, a lot of grounding period, that kind of thing for me. So yeah, so those are some of mine.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, for myself, I don't really spend a whole lot of time around the whole new year. For me, I do it around my birthday. And so my birthday was November 15th. And so I kind of really reflected on, what I did the year before and then what I'm going to be focusing on the current year forward, which brings us to 2021. So for myself, I am just looking for organization. I'm looking for streamlining everything in all areas of my life. Look, whether that be at home, with the business, with my body, with my mind, just literally trying to get everything organized and systemized, because right now there's just a lot of chaos. And as much as I do thrive on chaos, it is not super functional. And so when you've got a lot of dysfunction, there's things that you could be doing way better. And, kind of goes back to power of focus and then X timing. So that's what I'm basically putting my intention into this year.
Yeah. Do you have any mantras you want to tell people?
No, I still do the same mantra that I've done for the last couple of years. I am a money magnet. I'm a deal magnet. I'm an investor magnet. And those are kind of my things that everything we do, or everything I do, centers around the business first. That's my first priority. And so it always comes back to that, right? If we've got the money, people, and deals, we're good and full-fledged moving forward. So, yeah.
Well, mine I'm working on is calm the fuck down.
I could use that one too.
So in regards to that, it's to encompass a few things. I am a very energized person, and my brain, Rochelle's very similar with that, is always like here, right? And so my thing is whenever I find myself in that kind of overwhelmed, or I'm like trying to look at 37 things at one time, the first thing I'm saying to myself, and sometimes I say it out loud, is calm the fuck down. And then that, for whatever reason, grounds me and allows me to just look and go, okay, here's where we're headed. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's a good one. I
Mhm.
like it.
Yep.
Okay. So no one's sharing what their stuff is, or we have some comments? Kind of, no?
We got one coming right now.
Okay, cool. We got one comment coming. That's exciting. We love comments. Again, we always want to make these as interactive as possible. So yeah. And then we can talk about why today is actually the final episode of the Epic Hour.
Don't.
Yeah. So I don't know if any of you guys are going to miss us or whatever that looks like. We've enjoyed spending that hour a week with you guys. I've enjoyed spending the time with you, but things are really going to
Right back at you.
things are going to be really changing. And so again, for us, we're all about pivoting and adapting.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to make sure we, had a really good series, and that's kind of, we decided to end up on episode 40. And we have the stats here, but the first week we did, the first episode was April 9th. And that is where we are. So Hayam says, I wish you 1,000 houses, and this will be the largest company in the world. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are working on that. And then Nicola says, I'm aiming to move at least 30 minutes a day, whether it's actual gym time or a hike, snowshoe trek, walk, whatever. I love that. So commendable. I'm like, that is a big, big deal. And it's crazy how amazing this weather has been.
Yeah,
like so
we've had a beautiful winter.
Blessed. Like everything's melting right now, which is kind of
and bad.
But it freezes at night and whatever. But it's you just got to drive carefully, but it's just beautiful. And then Jennifer O'Connell says, lots of goals. I worked on them yesterday.
Nice.
Oh, good job, Jennifer. And then she says, I will miss your Epic Hours. So again, we are going to pivot and adapt. So we're not just going to, be like, we're never going to see you again.
Yeah.
But we just need to figure out what we're going to be doing with marketing and all that kind of stuff. And then this is also going to give our team enough time to go back, edit, and upload all of the past Epic Hours onto our YouTube channel. So if you don't know about our YouTube channel, go check that out. It's under Epic Alliance.
Just Epic Alliance Inc. Go to the one with the two ladies.
Okay, Epic Alliance Inc. Look for the characters. But yeah, subscribe, and we're going to be really pumping out more content. We're going to be pumping out a lot more content on there, and a lot of different things that we haven't done yet. So we do have a new marketing team that we had starting in the fall, winter, super excited for, and they're very innovative, and we're open to anything. And so we're just going to try a few different things. And the other side of it is, and this will come into the next side of the announcement, is that I booked my flight to go to the States. So I'm set to leave January 20th. So we'll see if that goes to plan. Everything's kind of cray right now in certain areas of the States and all that stuff. But again, people are like, well, what about? And I'm like, I don't focus on stuff I can't control. That has nothing to do with me. I booked my flight. I'm going to, do everything I can to get as many projects done and wrapped up here before I get on the plane. But after that, it is what it is. So, that has been a big thing with us hinging on the US expansion. I need to be there in order to open up the US bank account, and then we can get going. But our teams down there are super excited. Everybody's on board, and I'm going to be reaching out to all the US investors who have expressed interest in the past over the next week here. And also, if you have any US friends or family that are interested or could be interested in working with us, by all means, send them my way. And I would love to have a discovery session phone call to see if we might be a best fit for them too. So our referral program, don't forget, $1,000 referral fee for any closed deal. So it's another way people could get another stream of income, right? Yeah. And then on that note, for the final Epic Hour, for this one being our 40th episode, do you have any epic memories? Yeah, 40.
Oh, Lord.
Do you have any epic memories from the show to reminisce over?
There's, I'm sure, lots. This is a slight problem. We have problems. Remember what we did yesterday. So looking back 6 months, 8 months, or almost, I guess, 40 weeks, almost
April.
a year. Yeah. So
3/4 of a year.
Right. Ole.
Yeah.
Wow.
For myself, the one I really remember, and this is typical of me, but it was that first one we did, right? Because we did it, it was showing off one of our new Airbnbs, and then we were going to get to interact with people. And I was so excited that people were going to be interacting with us, and you guys were going to get a chance to ask us questions live. And then I was going to spend an hour a week with Alyssa, because again, we conquer and divide a lot. We don't spend a lot of time together. Some people appreciate our banter. It just kind of is natural. And some people are like, you guys vibe so well. And we're like, yeah, it works.
My work wife.
Yeah.
I have to vibe well.
So, you know, it's just kind of neat to see kind of people's reactions. There's a lot of people, I guess, they don't see as much, the investors don't see as much of Alyssa, because the
But I
investor
am hard
side,
to miss. It's a giant redhead thing.
but the investor side is more my side of what I bring to the company and what I do for the company. And so
I love when you randomly stop me or randomly call me or talk to me and go, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm one of the investors. I'm like, hey, you know, because lots of them I never get to talk to.
Yeah, so that was fun, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, that first one for me was a big deal. And what shocked me and what I didn't actually anticipate was how many people were going to come out of the woodwork from the Epic hours.
Yeah.
People who literally messaged us after that first Epic hour and they're like, I'm ready to invest. Let's go. Some of those investors have 2, 3, 4 deals now in less than a year.
Yep.
That's huge. And I don't know if it's just because they got to see, you know, more of our authentic selves, or if they just felt more comfortable. I'm not sure.
More real. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, it's just, you don't know what people's call to actions are going to be.
Yeah.
But for me, that was, I think, what I was most impressed with. And yeah, it's been a slice.
I just enjoyed them, period. It's always fun to, like you said, the banter and then spend time with each other. But it's also fun on the ones when, you know, there was lots of episodes where we had a ton of people ask a lot of questions, or they would email something in and then we would get to answer it. And I think that's also the part for me over the entire period is the amount of education or information we were able to put out there. I think that for me in a whole was huge.
Yeah. And then again, letting the marketing team have time to go back and digest and then figure out, you know, little snippets or whatever things were answered or whatnot. We can repurpose some of that stuff. I think there's a lot of amazing content there. So that's awesome. And then Winnie says, how do we refer US friends to you? So there's multiple ways. But one is that the best way, if it's anything to do with the States, the best way is going to be to get them in contact with myself. So my email is Rochelle, ROCHELLE @epicalliance.ca. We'll put it in the chat here. And then my cell phone number, if you have your pen, is 306-717-7848. And I don't mind when people call me out of the blue. I always answer the phone. If I don't have time to take the call right at that point in time, then I will just be like, hey, what's up? I'll call you back as soon as possible. And I am very, like, I live on my phone. So I will get back to people right away. Emails, expect 2 to 3 day delay. I hate emails. So I'll get to it eventually, but it won't be quick. So that's why I always tell people, call or text and you'll get me instantly. And so Alyssa's just writing it in the chat. And do we have any other comments?
Yeah, there's one right here.
Okay. Carrie asks, can we invest in a US house? So if you're a Canadian investor, we suggest if you have, if you are Canadian and you have Canadian funds and you work in Canada, we suggest that you stay invested in Canada with us, because in the States, all it is going to be a mirror image of our current deals in Canada. And the reason we're going down there is because we want to attract US investors so that we can have more people who can work with us so we can get to our journey to $1 billion faster. But the returns are the same. So if you have US money and you wanted to invest it in the States on a fund to flip and it's already down there, then I would say yes, definitely could work out. But it wouldn't make sense for a Canadian to get a US mortgage, because generally the banks as a foreign buyer are going to want 25, 30, 35% down. And again, on a hassle-free landlord house, we only pay the return on the 20% down payment. So for us, when we just talk to people, we usually advise, if you're Canadian, invest with us in Canada, 10% on fund to flips, 15% on hassle-free landlord houses. Same is true in the States. If you're an American, invest with us in the States, 10% on fund to flip, 15% on hassle-free landlord houses. So that's what we advise. Hopefully that answers your question.
comment.
Okay.
Beth.
Oh.
Okay, I'm a bit biased as I am Melissa's mom. I didn't even know my mom watched this. Hi, Mom. So proud of you both as you go forward on your journey. All the best as you go forward.
Thank you. And we used some of your furniture in this house. So Beth is amazing. Beth and Richard, we're upgrading some of the stuff in their house, and I get a phone call every once in a while. Hey, do you want a couch? Hey, do you want a TV? Hey, do you want some pillows? Do you want a lamp? I'm like, bring all the things. We will use them. So yeah, that's awesome. So if anybody else has stuff that they want to donate or get rid of, we take those things. So yeah, that's exciting. Thank you. Okay, so what we got next?
Heading into 2021, let's recap where Epic Alliance Inc. stands today. Properties, millions, control. What are the goals for the business by the end of this year? Where should things be by the end of the year? All right.
So Bailey just pulled up the numbers.
There you
So
go.
as of today, do you want to talk about?
Go for it.
So the total control of properties, or total $1 million worth of properties under our control is $126,289,600. So we are a little shy.
Sorry, that went up as of like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
We just got control of the house.
Yeah.
Okay, it changed. It changed, guys. Like this is like bring those phones. Like this is real life, man. It's a house a day, guys.
And I still have 3 packages I'm working on that
Yeah.
would qualify for last year's products.
So it's so interesting when people are like, I don't understand how do you buy a house a day? I'm like, I don't know. We have the team and we do the things and we have investors and we do
the phones. Bye.
So
Literally.
and that's it. And what's been so interesting, and this for me is just like, I try not to go there some days, but there's a lot of haterade. There's a lot of haters. And I don't know if some of it's jealousy or if some of it's just ignorance. I don't know what it is, because for me, like if people are doing better than me, I'm like, that's amazing. You must be hustling hard. Good for you. I appreciate you. Right. And like, what nuggets can I learn from those people? And then it's so interesting because like we'll take phone calls generally with anybody. Like people reach out and they're like, hey, I had a guy, I have an Airbnb in Saskatoon. I'm just curious as to how you're a super host and how you have all these amazing reviews and I want to be like you. And I was like, cool. Had a phone call, ended up, helping him tweak his space. Am I going to do that with everybody? No, it just felt right at that point in time with this gentleman. And again, for me, integrity is a big deal. I'm all about win-win scenarios and I love to be able to give back whenever I can. But anyway, my point is I've had multiple phone calls with potential investors or people who invest with us, and they're going on and telling me about people who are like, oh yeah, they're trying to push you out of town. And I'm like, do people not understand what's happening here? Like we're literally rewriting markets of areas in Saskatoon. Like you're a little late to the party if you're trying to push us out of town, just saying, right? But anyway, it's so funny though. I'm just like, what? And I think some of it is the fact that what we do.
Here's the thing too, though. Why is your mentality going that way? It should be, I'm going to do the best I can to get as far as I can. Not, I'm going out to do this to beat the girls. Okay, well, do it. Try and beat our asses. Go for it. Put all your energy into that instead of making you and your product the best thing it can be.
Yeah, it literally is mind blowing. Like, I'm just like, okay, whatever. Anyway, so I don't feed into it, whatever. But it's come up like 4 times in the last week alone. And I'm like, God, and they're like, do you know these people? And I'm like, no, I don't care. I don't know these people. I don't care. Right. So anyway, but the cool thing is that we have so many amazing investors and people who are cheering us on this journey. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm gonna get emotional because it's been like just a big deal and a big year, and like, doubling our portfolio and just all the things. I'm like, it's so huge, and I'm just so blessed for all you guys who are on this journey. So that's all.
Yeah, what she said.
Got real.
Sorry.
Shit got real. No, it's true. I don't think those that don't truly know who Rochelle and I are, sometimes they, it's funny because like when, I talk to the realtors that I work with and stuff, and they'll be finding, they're like, do you know what everybody calls you guys or this or that? You guys are sharks. And I just laugh. I'm like, if anybody actually met me, that would be the most inappropriate animal to like compare me with. I'm like, I literally let people do most of their own self-destruction and everything. If like, I'm like all about the pause and all about the, you know, I go put offers in, I'm like, just leave it there. Just let it go. You know, I have to walk the realtors off ledges all the time, and they're like, but you're gonna lose the house. Okay,
There's more.
there's more,
Yeah.
right? Like, and I just, you know, it's so funny because we anyone who actually truly gets to sit down and have that one-on-one conversation truly learns how much we care. You know, if people saw what we're running as a business, and then to the degree of how we live, you know, there are so many business people that would not be living like how Rochelle and I do, right? But again, our commitment to that and how wholeheartedly we really, really see and understand every single cog and part to this company and how it all aligns and how valuable it all is. I think that's why we come off harsh sometimes, because we see that, and that's why it's on us so easy to make that judgment call that it's this person doesn't fit, this person doesn't align, this situation isn't helping, go, be gone, right? And so I think that's why we come up. It's because we fully understand all of that.
Well, and even when it comes to negotiating on houses, it's just a house. There's no emotions tied to it. It either works for you for the offer or it doesn't.
Yeah.
And like, that's it. You don't need to be tied to it. And I think some people are like, oh, you're harsh because of the way you negotiate. I'm like, it's a business, man. Like, it is what it is, right? And if you need to step up your negotiation game to get some houses, well, that's a you problem, right? We've been working on our skills for years, right?
Not only our skills, but getting ourselves in this position, being who we are. And when we say we work on that, we have trained, we have educated. That won't stop.
No.
Our education type will always change, but the fact that we will educate ourselves will never stop.
No, and we just signed up for Tony Robbins' Business Mastery, right? We did the Unleash the Power Within, and we were like, what's the next level? And for us, that made sense.
That's the next level.
We're like, okay, let's hone this.
He's already 2 years behind on the one-on-ones. We really got to get moving here. So, you know, that's where we're at.
Awesome. So we have some great comments here.
Yes.
So Albert says, call Rochelle out of the blue. I'm glad I did make the call. Yeah. And I remember that first call that I had with Albert, and Albert now has a couple of deals. So, and saving his pennies and quarters for the next, right? Or I guess nickels and dimes, whatever.
Okay. See, we do talk about all you guys.
Totally. And then we've got some comments here on Zoom. So Barbara says, I love to see people happy and succeeding. Life is a journey, not a competition. Again, that's the winner's mindset. It's all about abundance, not scarcity, right?
Stop being crabs in the bucket and pulling people fucking down.
It's exhausting. Like, again, it's just like, you got to vibe high. And for me, like, again, I don't pay attention to that other shit. So when people bring it up, I'm like, I don't have time. I'm too busy here and doing all the things, right? Jennifer O'Connell says, you guys are so genuine and so awesome. Thank you. It's just who we are. It's what we do. Barbara again says, we love you guys and all the good you do in this world. So again, win-wins. We appreciate everything that you do and bring to the table too. So that's amazing. And Winnie says, Rochelle, we'll reach out to you later. We'll call. I'm quite excited to get started. Amazing. Yes, do please. I do appreciate those calls and love to see, you know, for a good fit or whatever I can get to you to be able to educate you better on what we do and who we are. And I wish more people would pick up that phone instead of just guesstimating or assuming they know what we do. That is the number one thing that just kills me, because people are like, there's no way they can pay those kind of returns. And I'm like, yeah, it's all very, like very logical.
You open it, you push the button.
Yeah.
Oh, see, there's an I love you. And then you know, there's some password stuff. And then you go, hello at Epic. How are you guys? Hey. That's it. Really, it's that simple.
Super easy. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Okay. And so that's that. So cool things with those stats, right? So we said a little over $126 million of properties under our control. So that's almost doubling from last year. So last year we ended the year controlling 64 million, which is doubling from the year before. So almost a little shy. but pretty close.
I
Our
don't think
goal-
so. I'm lining up some packages.
It's anyway, so 128 million, roughly there, doubled our business.
Yeah.
Cool. Now we're controlling 504 properties.
Mm-hmm.
Big deal. And that breakdown for the 126 million, it's actually in Saskatoon, it's a little shy of 115 million. And then North Battleford is actually over 11 million. So we're making a little bit of an impact there, moving and shaking some stuff. I don't think people know what hit them there. That's been pretty entertaining. So yeah, so those are fun stats. And what are we looking at doing for 2021? What are the goals?
There's a lot of them.
Totally.
So obviously, making at least 6 cities in the States happen with product, I believe, was that your number, or did that change?
Her number was 6.
Yeah. Yours is 15.
So I'll tell you a story. So 2020 was supposed to be the year that we opened up 5 American cities.
Yeah.
And 2021 was supposed to be the year that we opened up 15 American cities.
Okay.
We lost a year due to COVID,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what's 15 plus 5, Alyssa?
20.
So that's the amount of cities I would like. Again, it's a huge, hairy, audacious goal. Is it going to happen?
Yes.
Hard to say.
Sure. Why
You know
not?
what? We'll see. So Cram1218 on Insta says,
I spoke to Bailey. She's awesome and very knowledgeable.
Yes,
Come
she
give her
is.
a shake. She's working as we say
Yeah,
her. She's like, what? My name? Huh?
There's Bailey.
I was texting one of the people that's messaging.
Yes, Bailey is a rock star.
Yeah.
She is 100% knowledgeable on all our products. So that's why when sometimes people are like, well, I want to talk to Rochelle. And I'm like, again, if you talk to Bailey, she has way more patience and she talks slower. So if you need, stuff reiterated or you need it really broken down for you, Bailey is probably the better play.
And unlike me, Bailey can break down the numbers on the spot. That isn't my thing. I'm like, they work, okay? We're good.
Yeah, so that's a good one. Carrie says,
We are on step.
yes,
10 out of 15.
yes,
Okay.
you and Ron are on step to 10 out of 15.
Wow.
So on their first hassle-free landlord house. So
Nice.
super excited. And you guys are getting a big one. So I think it's the biggest one we had available. So that's pretty exciting.
Bring all your friends.
Yeah. And that Carrie came from a referral. So again, their friends invest with us. It's hard to keep a secret about something you're enjoying. And it's just, keeps on the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
All right. So 20 houses in 2021 is what I would like, or sorry, 20 houses.
I was like,
One-
done. Oh, yeah, next week.
Sorry. Like I said,
Cities.
lack
I know.
of sleep.
I know.
The 2021, 20 American cities. Are we en route to get any more Canadian cities?
Maybe. One.
Okay, there we go. One more Canadian city. And then as far as numbers, we're always looking to double our portfolio, which we've done since we started our company. So in theory, next year would be the year we hit 250 million, or sorry, this year, pardon me. At the end of this year would be the year we control 250 million. And then, so that's our goal this year. But what's interesting is that, and some of you have heard me say this before.
Rochelle's bored with our goal, so she needs to change.
Kind of. But there's a reason. There's a method to my madness.
Sure there is.
So technically, that this year would be ending the year at 250 million.
Mm-hmm.
Then next year would be ending the year controlling 500 million.
Mm.
And then in the third year, that would be the year we hit $1 billion. But don't forget, guys, I'm retiring in 2 years from the day-to-day of E.P.I.C. So I selfishly want to hit $1 billion before I leave, because then it was like, I was here for the whole 10-year journey, and it's just I like this story. So we just need to cut off one of those years of doubling,
So basically in 24 months, we got to hit $1 billion.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's doable.
Right.
So in my brain, I was like, you know what? This will be the easiest year to shave off, because if we went from 128 million to 500 million, then next year we just have to double that to get to $1 billion. No biggie. So that's my
Sleep's
plan,
optional.
right? I mean, 2 hours last night. I mean, I'm still talking. You can kind of understand me. It kind of makes sense. But yeah, so really that's what I'm kind of that's what I'd love to hit, because then it'll just make doubling next year that much easier. And then I can be done in November and then pass on all my hats, make sure everything is running lovely, and then go and travel and do all the things. That's my plan.
And then we'll just create more monsters.
Yeah, but they won't take all my time.
No, I
You just
know.
set up the systems faster and move on.
Yeah,
So that's the plan.
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. So Barbara says, you guys can do it. Woo!
We can.
And then Stephanie says, looking forward to doing more with you guys this year. Stephanie, I have to reach out to present you with a new deal. So I will do that. I've just been on this Airbnb, and so it's been taking all of my time. So I will be doing that all by tomorrow. So I will reach out. Yeah. And if anybody else is doing,
Sent you smileys.
yay. And if anybody else is interested in doing any fund to flips, we've got a bunch of deals funding this month. We always do, but right, specifically, I'm going to rewrite. I think we've got like between refinancing and doing a bunch of deals, I think we've got like 12 deals funding next week. So lots of opportunity. Cool. And then we talked about our personal goals.
Mm-hmm.
And
So I'm going to circle back to a little bit of, if we're going to make this happen, some of the things we're implementing to make the background run.
yeah, that's the stuff I skip over.
I know. And it's also critical.
That's why I have you.
Yes, Ranger and Inside joke, sorry. Okay, we'll explain this one. Okay, so Rochelle is AKA a Sparky. She runs around lighting fires, and I am Ranger Renee, put my big girl hat on, and I run around putting them out or turning them into useful products.
So this goes back to working with our energy coach.
Yeah.
But we had just started working with her, and why we love working with Jennifer Blake, is because she is an intuitive coach.
Mm-hmm.
So again, sometimes it's a little woo-woo for some people.
Mhm.
That's totally, it's an energy thing. That's how we vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, she gets downloads,
Mhm.
and this could be a message, it could be a word, it could be a visualization, like a picture.
Yeah.
And so she's like, wait, I'm getting something. So she goes and explains what she's seeing on this coaching call. She's like, okay, I got it. And this is when we just started working with her. And the whole essence of working with her was because Alyssa and myself are very different people.
Just in a good way.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we balance each other. But it's just like, we're very different people with our interests and where we're at. And, even just our personal goals and how that aligns to the company. So we started working with Jen to kind of bring us back together so we can be the best version of ourselves to benefit the company. So we were doing these calls, and she's like, okay, so she goes and explains what she's seeing. And she's like, okay, this is what I'm seeing. She goes, like those like cartoons where you see like Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. So I'm kind of seeing Rochelle going around, running around, lighting fires, and then being like, hee hee hee, and then running on and being like, ha ha ha, and then lighting more. And then she's like, and then there's Ranger Renee with her ranger hat on, trying to figure out where the fire is so she can go and put it out or deal with it. And then she's trying to find the next one, and she's exhausted because she's trying to track down these fires. And it was an amazing, amazing visualization.
So we cried till we giggled.
It was hilarious. We were
laughing.
We were laughing. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, that's
It's
so
us right there.
true. And she goes, only with you guys do I ever get cartoons like this. Like, what is happening right now? I'm like, yeah, typical, right?
Yeah.
We are a character. So from there, what the lesson was that, because I'm not going to quit starting fires. I get bored really easily. I like doing things. I get innovative. But she's like, what would help though is when you light a fire, just let her know where it is, right? And from there, it was like an epiphany.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, dang, yeah, I can do that. Right? But so that's why it's really important to make sure you're working with a coach, because you need somebody to pick out your blind spots.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're hustling and you're doing so much. And so we've definitely elevated our communication and ourselves, and like really been able to hone in on taking care of ourselves and bringing the best of ourselves into the business.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. A couple quick comments, and then I'll
Okay.
talk a little bit more about that. Carrie asks, what will you do in retirement?
For myself, I love doing things, but right now my brain capacity is all epic all the time.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I can't learn any new skills, and that might be an excuse. I don't know. But I want to learn how to play chess, and I want to learn how to play poker, and I want to learn how to do these things. Like I can't even right now. Like I tried learning crib, how to play crib, the card game, on the weekend at Christmas. And I couldn't even, I was zoning out after 5 minutes because legit my brain is so full that I feel like if it has nothing to do with the business, I can't even absorb anything. So my goal is when I am in retirement, I want to travel the world, do what I want when I want, and then just experience things, but have the brain capacity to focus on just learning new things and just being like able to do.
And Rochelle and I ultimately have said, even when we started this, that's what you hear us, if you've watched anything else about us, we talk about, okay, here's us with E.P.I.C, right? This is us focused. This is us controlled. But the goal with that is, like Rochelle says, just the day-to-day hats come off. We aren't just going to go mic drop, walk away, and the company is just nothing to us. That's not how we operate. It's achieving a goal that we can turn around and put to reality all these things that we put in our mind, that this is why I'm here and there's blood, sweat, and tears and it's 3 a.m. because I know that at this point I'm going to go to Bali and be there for 3 weeks on my computer, or 3 months, or whatever that looks like, right? And also turn around and start more businesses, or be angel investors, or be, whatever that looks like. We're just looking for that. We have to have an end date where this company will run without us. That's how we build a legacy. So by us being grounded enough to realize that this is a huge, huge opportunity for so many people, but the only way it can become a legacy is if it can run without us. That is the only way. So this is why it is so critical that we have to keep replacing ourselves in the day-to-day so that this will go on no matter what we're doing or where we are.
Yeah, 100%. And that's exactly it. Even in retirement, it's still going to be our company. We're not walking away from that, because the thing is, how I stay in retirement is because then I can pull a dividend check from the company to keep me in retirement because of all the work I've done over the last decade. Right. So it's putting in all that work and then getting the fruits of the labor later. And then, of course, we get paid last. So we need to make sure that all of our investors get paid, all of our team members get paid, the contractors, all the bills get paid in order to make sure that there's a profit. So if I don't hire the right people and I don't have all the systems in place, then it's not going to function.
No.
And then I have to come out of retirement, and I don't want to do that.
No.
So I've got a lot invested in making sure this process transitions, really smoothly. And that's where the work is over the next 2 years. And
so I hope that answers everyone's questions, because I know a lot of people have always said, well, she's retiring, that it's coming to an end. No, it's just her way of, in one word, summing up what we just said in 5 minutes.
Yeah. And it's, honestly, the other side of it is financial freedom.
Yeah.
Right. Because right now I'm debt free, because I did an epic hour on that and how I sold my house, and, I have all my debt paid off. But at the same time, now the goal is to create multiple streams of income. Right. So again, this is why when other people are like, hey, I want to invest in with you guys, and I don't know if house for free makes sense or fund to flip, we're always going to go back to the discovery session of what are your financial goals and what is it that you're working with, because then we can get a blueprint to get you to your future financial goals faster. Right. And so it's the same thing for me. I'm like, okay, well, do I, eventually end up investing in other businesses? Do I end up learning about Forex trading?
Yeah.
Do I learn cryptocurrency?
Yeah.
What do I do? But I don't have the capacity for any of that stuff right now. And that's something that'll happen later.
And then
Amy says, you queens make me so excited about the future. Awesome. Amy's part of our team. She is our Airbnb supervisor and she's killing it. Loving it. So thank you, Amy, for being a rock star. And you'll love this house, Amy. It is amazing. So we'll go on a tour shortly, but it's so good.
Yeah. So how are we all going to make this happen? Okay. So there's a lot, and I mean a lot, and I won't be able to explain it all in the epic hour, but I'll touch on little pieces. So again, software, we're using building stacks, Sage, bringing those in. Everything is going to be electronic, cell phones, tablets, all of the things to allow information to be communicated at light speed. And it's a large investment for a company of our size, but the payoff will be huge because ultimately everyone will be able to communicate like that. Unlike paper, or if you only buy into this level, it's like, forget it. If we're going to hit $1 billion, we just need to stop capping ourselves, and it's here. Okay. We also are working, our accounting team has expanded dramatically. We now have a portion of our accounting team out of Calgary. We have a portion of them here. We have a portion of them right on staff. And we also have a portion that'll be in the States. So it's things like that where we're just like, okay, where do we want to be? Just lay it out with the teams and the groups or companies that we need in those places strategically. So that is huge. So yes, honestly, E.P.I.C will continuously either be hiring contractors or will be hiring employees forever. And that is another way how we'll continue with our growth and keep gauging with that.
Yep. Systems.
Yep.
Team members.
Yep.
We have a question here from Winnie. Is Airbnb another type of investment aside from fund to flip and hassle-free landlord program? So it actually is hassle-free landlord program properties that we do Airbnbs with. So we don't do a lot of Airbnbs. I just talk about it a lot because that's my primary focus. And right now we've been pumping out basically one every month for the last few months. By the time I go to the States, we have 2 more houses. One's going to be another 2-suiter, and then another one's going to be a 3-suiter. Those I'm trying to get done over the next 2 weeks. Hopefully get them done before I leave to the States. That's a lot of work. We'll see what happens. And then we also we're going to be launching some student rentals as well, which is going to be a different arm of what we do. But essentially, they're just hassle-free landlord houses that we utilize differently. Mm-hmm. So we are very transparent with all of our investors who purchase one of these houses. They know that it's going to be used for an Airbnb, or they know it's going to be used as a shared accommodation student rental. So again, for us, we're very transparent. We're not trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. And we actually have some investors that have come and they're like, I want to buy an Airbnb property. What do you have? Right? So it's, again, everybody's different. The returns are the same because it's still a hassle-free landlord house. You're still going to earn a 15% annual rate of return. The reason some investors like it is because generally the houses go through less wear and tear, right? And because they're a nicer property, generally in a nicer neighborhood. So these houses that we have as Airbnbs are probably going to appreciate more over the long term than a little hood house, you know, one of the ones just in the regular avenues. And that's just kind of, you know, eventually we can probably flip it to a homeowner. And so sometimes it kind of plays into people's ideas.
And goals. That's why the discovery call is so important.
Yep, for sure. So yeah, and we will not, I'm not going to say never. We will not be doing furnished rentals or Airbnbs in the States. They take so much time to put together, and I love them. I love Design Man. This is why I was able to stay up till 5 a.m. and, you know, just decorate and put my touch on things and whatnot. And that's just, I love it, but it is exhausting. It takes a lot of time and energy, and that's less energy. Like I'm getting bottlenecked with client calls and investor calls because I've been trying to get this house done, and it's just not effective. My ROI per my time, or ROT, return on time, for Airbnbs does not make sense for the caliber of what I should be and could be doing, but it just fills my soul. So it's just that little bit of a mix, but we are definitely not scheduling any more Airbnbs past the 2 that we are slated to do. So.
Until I find a house that she likes or thinks is cute.
You know what? It's her problem, I think. Like, I think she's feeding my addiction because literally she goes and buys this one house on Avenue E. She's like, I bought a cute house. I think you should Airbnb it. And I'm like, oh God. I go look at it.
I just know her energies and flair and stuff.
So,
and I'm like, this is a thing.
Literally go look at it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. She's like, okay, let's get it up and running.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I found another one. I was like, no. She's like, yeah, tells me the location. I was like, no, it won't work. She was like, just go look. I go look at it. 3 suites, turnkey, just a gem. I was like, I'll take it. So yeah. So it's not just my problem.
Hey, they do well.
They do well. Yeah. So right now, we've got 17 spaces. By the time we launch all the ones we have, this one, it'll get launched this weekend. Then we got another 2 and another 3. It'll be 24 spaces on
Oh,
Airbnb.
see, we gotta stop at like a 30 or a 25.
No, I
so
think we're good. So,
numerically, we gotta,
no, 24 is a good, 24. And, yeah. So
Oh,
10 minutes. Oh my
All right.
gosh, we should do this tour.
Okay.
If you guys have any questions, please put them in the chats. We'd love to answer them for you guys. But yes, let's take you on a tour. So upstairs, this is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom suite. The basement is a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom suite. What's interesting is this was actually a foreclosure. I don't know how we got this property. I don't know, literally, I don't know how it didn't sell to like a homeowner or whatever. But anyway, the basement was gutted. It needed a lot of work, but we did really good on this house. So
It's because our teams and the people we align with are amazing.
yeah, I think that's what it was. I think the realtor had good
Yeah.
pull on this one. So anyway, I'm just gonna move this jacket, but yeah, so I don't know if you guys can see everything. It might be a little bit dark, but
Oh, I recognize a few things.
yeah, that's your parents'
All right.
couch. There's Beth's couch.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if you guys can see, like it's a little dark and whatnot, but you can see like all the details I put into everything, like, the artwork, and like we have a desk space. Like this was such a dead area. I didn't know how to fill it. And I found this table on Kijiji. Pretty much everything I buy is on Kijiji, Facebook Buy and Sells, Value Village, all that stuff. And yeah, we just kind of make magic happen. But like even the bookshelf, like it's all those little things that we have so many repeat guests. And some people love staying at different spaces because they want to see how the space is put together. And it's pretty interesting. I actually have one of our guests, he's staying, I think he's been at 7 of our houses. He's actually from Saskatoon. He goes on these little staycations. He's like, I'm going into your house. And I'm like, okay, enjoy. So yeah, so this is kind of like, obviously the living area, which leads into the dining kitchen area. So if this was a flip, we would have done it way differently. We would have blown out walls and whatnot, but this kitchen was already here. And again, it's dark wood, it's not ideal, but for us, we're not into the business of wasting money. So all we did was, I used scrap tile that we had left over at the shop, and we just paid the labor for our contractor to add in a pretty backsplash, and it just kind of jazzed up the kitchen. So for us, we always do the little snack packs, and this is we do all the same things in every one of our Airbnbs. So all of our guests know exactly what to expect when they stay in any of our places. And then of course, like in the cupboards, we've got the same, same kind of setup and whatnot. And it's just, I buy a lot of this stuff at Dollar Tree. And I have complete lists of what I buy where. I know the cheapest
Or
places.
Gary gets tired of our dishes.
Oh yeah, so these actually came from Melissa's house because apparently they wanted new dishes. So we gladly.
My significant other is the one who wanted dishes.
There you go. They got new dishes. We got stuff for the Airbnb. So I mean, if it's functional.
I thought they were fine. I don't have anything to do with the home decor.
Awesome. And then and here we just basically put in all new stainless steel appliances. That was it. And we didn't pay for any of these stainless steel appliances because these would have been appliances that we pulled out of houses that we buy. So again, we do Kijiji buys and just regular appliances for all of our rentals. And so whenever there's stainless steel appliances in one of the houses we buy, whether somebody flipped it or whatever, or a homeowner, we go take it and we repurpose it in their Airbnbs and the flips. Great way to save, didn't you know?
There you go. Well, we'll head on through the rest of it.
So this one,
There's your little.
oh yeah, I always do the ecobee thermostats so that I can, especially when there's shared units and only one furnace, I always do this so that I can monitor it on my phone. So if one guest wants to jack it up or down, I'm like, do not touch it. I'll come break your fingers, but I'll keep it at 21 or whatever. So yeah, I can control this with my phone on an app. Super great. Nice big entryway here.
Yeah, it does.
And then again, these doors, like you can tell it's the brass. This house was all brass before we got it. If this was a flip, we would have dealt with that. But because it's an Airbnb, no one cares.
Bathroom was a good renovation.
This was a gut.
Yeah, the bathroom.
This bathroom was super weird. It had a jacuzzi jetted tub, but it didn't work, and it had a window behind it, whatever. So we completely gutted it, and put this back together, and it came out, it's very generic, but it, does the trick.
And
Then this one we actually did as an African Serengeti vibe.
oh,
So it's kind of a fun flair.
oh yeah, look at the elephants.
I actually based the design of this room from that trunk.
Oh, okay.
I got that trunk for $30 on Kijiji, and I
There
fell
you
in
go.
love with it. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to base a room off of this. And then we just had all this random stuff, and it came together.
Looks good. Little elephant over there. What is that? Is that like, oh, it's just an image. I thought it was like pieces or something.
No,
I'm screwing
it's-
with my eyes.
I know, it's kind of interesting. And then this room actually I was pleasantly surprised by it.
Yeah, I thought I'd seen that ball before.
Yeah,
Or that's been in the garage forever.
I use it in
Okay.
different
Oh,
staging.
staging. Okay.
So this one actually, it's got a nice bay window, but I absolutely fell in love with creating this room. This room, I didn't have any expectations for it. I was not really impressed with how it was coming together. And then we put this collage wall together, and I absolutely fell in love with this room.
There you go.
So again, I always try
Peace,
to, make things as zen and as peaceful as possible kind of thing. So yeah, huge rooms.
Yeah,
Huge rooms.
It's
So
a huge house.
it's a big house, yeah. Yeah, and then that pretty much sums up this whole main floor. And of course, the guests would have access to all this. And then there's a nice deck outside. In the summertime, we'll put a patio table out there. It is shared with a backyard guest. But yeah, and then we never rent out the Airbnb, or sorry, never rent out the garages to our Airbnb guests. I use it for storage. So yeah, and then this is where this door would lock, and then the basement guests would come in. So there is shared laundry in here. So everything past this point is brand new. This was completely gutted and put back together. So here's the shared laundry area. So both guests would share that. Again, appliances pulled out of other houses. And then here's where we would go into the basement suite. So this is all brand new. So our kitchen guy did brand new kitchen, again, repurposed appliances. And I always try to set up a desk station wherever I can. So we were able to fit it in here, had to get a little creative with the design. But yeah, I absolutely love this living room, how it all came together.
And here we
It ended
are.
up being super fun.
Ta-da. There it is. A llama.
Yeah.
Llamas are so popular right now.
Yeah, so we kind of went with like a fun little rustic vibe. I find a lot of whimsy in this suite. So lots of fun stuff to look at. So we've got the bathroom, again, built from nothing. It was low ceiling,
It was here,
so
yeah.
a little hard to deal with, but
Yeah.
I think it came together okay.
Yeah, it looks good.
Watch your stuff.
Thank you. This
And
place is
then-
like a maze.
Yeah, I know, it's huge.
It's
Like
enormous.
it's massive. And all these rooms, every one of these rooms was so big, we could put matching nightstands. I've never had a house that big that we could put matching nightstands throughout the whole thing. So this room is just kind of, tealy and whatnot.
I like that color.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then we've got through here. See, look, isn't it so fun?
Like once you close this door, I don't know where we came in.
I know, seriously, it's huge. And then we've got another bedroom in here.
I love the dog.
I know, it's so cute.
Another big bedroom.
Yeah.
And then watch your step. The third bedroom.
Wow.
This room came together. I love it.
Nice and dark.
Yeah.
So if anybody is looking at design and stuff like that, this is one of my hacks. If you can come over here, I'll show them. This is a basement. Okay. Does it feel like a basement? You guys, this doesn't feel like a basement. Why does it not feel like a basement?
Curtain.
Floor or ceiling to floor curtains. And look at the window, guys.
Yeah.
But that is how I get people thinking differently. So people never feel like they're in a basement suite. That and it doesn't smell like a dingy basement suite.
Yeah.
And then in here is where we actually keep our supplies. So this would be locked out to the guest, but I keep all of the backup supplies for our Airbnb cleaners. So they'll always have a supply closet in each of the suites. Upstairs, we had 2 locked cabinets because we didn't have any other office space or closet spaces that we could lock. So I had to get creative with it, but it works. So yeah, that's that.
You don't need wax off, Michelle?
We'll deal with it later.
All right.
What time are we at?
I don't know, actually. It
Should be on
is
the computer.
12:59.
Okay, well,
Want to
we're,
go upstairs? Because,
do we want to end up there?
oh yeah. Are we going to tell them? Well, I guess.
Oh, do we talk about next week?
No, I think we can just.
Oh, we're done. There is no
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no next week.
Yeah.
There's no next
So
week, guys.
just keep your eye on Epic for what's going to be coming down the loop and what we're going to change and adapt into.
Yeah.
Alliance Inc. on youtube.com.
Perfect.
Find us, subscribe to us.
Awesome. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with us and
Yeah.
being here. And we love you guys. So that is that. And we will catch you on the flip side. And in the
And
meantime,
Stay epic.